Waking up every morning with that thick mucus in your throat that just won't clear no matter how much you cough? Feeling like you constantly need to clear your throat throughout the day and it's embarrassing when you're around family or at church? That persistent phlegm that's been bothering you for months or even years is not normal, and I need you to understand something very important right now because what I'm about to share with you could completely change your quality of life and the number one cause of this problem in seniors is something most doctors never even mention to their patients, and it's hiding in plain sight affecting millions of older adults across America who think they just have to live with this forever, but that's simply not true. My name is Dr. Rebecca Parker. I've worked as a physician for over 20 years, and today I focus specifically on senior health, helping people just like you overcome these frustrating conditions that steal your comfort and dignity every single day. You're not alone in this struggle because thousands of seniors across America wake up every morning dealing with this exact same issue, and I've seen patients who've suffered with chronic phlegm for 5 years, 10 years, even 15 years thinking there was no solution and feeling embarrassed to speak up in social situations or feeling anxious about that constant need to clear their throat during conversations with grandchildren or during important moments, and the truth is your body is trying to tell you something, and we need to listen because this persistent mucus production is a clear signal that something in your system needs attention and help. Let me explain exactly why this happens and why it's so common in people over 60, because understanding the root cause is the first step toward finally getting relief. As we age, our bodies go through significant changes, and one of the most overlooked changes happens in our digestive system, specifically with something called the lower esophageal sphincter, which is basically a muscular valve that sits between your esophagus and your stomach, and this valve's job is to keep stomach acid where it belongs down in your stomach. But here's what happens as we get older: this valve weakens, and when it weakens, stomach acid starts creeping up into your esophagus, especially when you're lying down at night, and this is called acid reflux or GERD. And here's the connection that most people don't understand: when that acid reaches the back of your throat, your body produces extra mucus as a protective mechanism to coat and protect the delicate tissues in your throat and lungs from that burning acid. Studies show that over 60% of seniors over the age of 65 experience some form of acid reflux, and many don't even realize they have it because they don't feel the typical heartburn that younger people describe, and instead the only symptom they notice is this constant phlegm production and chronic throat clearing and persistent cough, especially in the morning. And this is why conventional treatments that just focus on the mucus itself never work, because they're not addressing the actual root cause, which is that stomach acid quietly irritating your throat night after night after night. If this resonates with you and you're finally understanding why nothing has worked so far, hit that like button, because this information needs to reach more seniors who are suffering silently, thinking they just have to accept this as part of getting older. The consequences of ignoring this problem go far beyond just discomfort and embarrassment, because when acid reflux continues untreated for months and years, it can lead to serious complications, including damage to your esophagus, increased risk of aspiration pneumonia, which happens when that mucus and acid get into your lungs, chronic inflammation that can affect your breathing, and even changes in the tissues of your throat that could lead to more serious conditions down the road. And I've seen patients end up in the hospital with pneumonia because they ignored these warning signs for too long, thinking it was just normal aging. Plus, there's the quality of life issue that we can't ignore, because living with constant phlegm affects your social life, your confidence, your ability to enjoy meals with family, your sleep quality, because you're coughing and clearing your throat all night. And it can even affect your relationships, because your partner might be frustrated by the constant nighttime coughing and throat clearing, and you might start avoiding social situations because you're self-conscious about it, and that leads to isolation, which is already such a huge problem for seniors across America. Now let me share with you the first natural solution that can start helping you today, and this is something simple and accessible that you can find at any grocery store, from Walmart to your local market, and it's something that's been used for generations, but most people don't understand how powerful it actually is for this specific problem. The first solution is apple cider vinegar, and I know you might be thinking, wait a minute, doctor, you just said acid. Is the problem why would I add more acid? But here's the fascinating science behind this, and it's going to make perfect sense once I explain it, because Apple cider vinegar works in a completely different way than you'd expect. When you have chronic acid reflux, the problem often isn't that you have too much stomach acid, it's actually that you don't have enough. And this might sound counterintuitive, but stay with me because when your stomach doesn't produce enough acid, your food sits there, fermenting and creating pressure and gas, and that pressure forces whatever acid you do have up through that weakened valve into your esophagus, and apple cider vinegar helps by improving your stomach's acidity, which actually helps your stomach digest food more efficiently and completely, which reduces that pressure and gas buildup that's been forcing acid up into your throat. From a medical perspective, apple cider vinegar contains acetic acid, which signals your stomach to produce the right amount of digestive enzymes, and it also has antimicrobial properties that can help balance the bacteria in your digestive system. And when your digestion works properly, there's less pressure, less gas, less reflux, and consequently less mucus production in your throat. And the best part is it's completely natural and safe, and costs just a few dollars at any store. Here's your simple protocol for using apple cider vinegar effectively, and I want you to follow these measurements carefully because getting it right makes all the difference in your results. Ingredients you'll need are 2 tablespoons of raw unfiltered apple cider vinegar with the mother, which you can find at any grocery store or pharmacy like CVS or Walgreens, 8 ounces of warm water, not hot, but comfortably warm, and optionally 1 teaspoon of raw honey if you need to improve the taste. Preparation is very simple because you just mix the 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar into the 8 ounces of warm water and stir well, and if you're using honey, add it and stir until it dissolves completely. How to use this remedy is drink this mixture 15 to 20 minutes before your 2 largest meals of the day, which for most people is lunch and dinner, and the reason we do it before meals is because it prepares your stomach to digest food properly, and you should. Start seeing results within 3 to 7 days with less morning phlegm and reduced throat clearing throughout the day. And for best results, continue this protocol daily for at least 30 days to allow your digestive system to fully rebalance. Important notes about this remedy include never drink apple cider vinegar straight because undiluted it can damage tooth enamel and irritate your throat, and always use raw unfiltered apple cider vinegar with the mother because that's where all the beneficial enzymes and probiotics live. And if you have any concerns about medication interactions, especially if you're on diuretics or insulin, talk to your doctor first. But for most seniors, this is completely safe and highly effective. I remember a patient of mine, a 72-year-old woman named Margaret, who came to my office frustrated because she'd been dealing with chronic phlegm for almost 8 years, and she'd tried every over-the-counter mucus medication you can imagine, and nothing worked in. She was embarrassed to attend her church choir practice because she constantly had to step out to clear her throat, and when I explained this acid reflux connection to her and started her on this apple cider vinegar protocol, her eyes lit up with hope for the first time in years, and within 2 weeks, she called my office almost crying with relief because her morning phlegm had decreased by 70%, and she was sleeping through the night without coughing, and within 6 weeks, she was back singing in her church choir, feeling like herself again. And that's the kind of transformation that's possible when you address the root cause instead of just treating symptoms. But that's not all, because while apple cider vinegar is powerful, there are 2 more solutions I need to share with you that work synergistically with it to give you even faster and more complete relief. And the second solution addresses another critical factor that contributes to chronic phlegm that most people never consider. The second solution involves elevating your upper body while you sleep, and this is absolutely crucial because gravity is either your enemy or your ally when it comes to acid reflux, and right now, if you're sleeping flat on your back, gravity is working against you all night long. When you lie completely flat, that weakened valve between your stomach and esophagus has no help from gravity to keep acid down where it belongs, and so acid freely flows up into your throat throughout the night, especially during the first few hours after you've eaten dinner. And this is why most people with this problem notice their phlegm is worst in the morning, because you've literally been marinating your throat in acid for 6 to 8 hours while you sleep. Doctors and research studies consistently show that elevating the head of your bed by 6 to 8 inches can reduce nighttime acid reflux by up to 70%. And this isn't about using extra pillows, because pillows can actually make the problem worse. by bending your body in the middle, which increases pressure on your stomach and forces more acid up, but instead you need to elevate the entire upper portion of your body at an angle. Here's how to do this correctly, and you have several options depending on your situation and budget, because the goal is to create a gentle incline that keeps your head and chest higher than your stomach. The simplest method is to place bed risers under the legs at the head of your bed, which you can find at any Walmart or on Amazon for about $15 to $20. And you want risers that are 6 to 8 inches tall, and you only put them under the top two. Legs of your bed, not all 4 legs, because you want that incline, and this creates a gentle slope that uses gravity to keep acid in your stomach, where it belongs throughout the night. Another option, if you don't want to modify your bed frame, is to use a wedge pillow, which is a specially designed foam pillow that elevates your entire upper body, and these are available at most pharmacies and online, and they typically cost between $30 and $60. And the key is to get one that's at least 7 inches tall at the highest point, and that covers from your hips to your head, so your whole upper body is elevated, not just your head. If this video has been helpful so far and you're learning things your doctor never told you, hit that like button and help other seniors discover this life-changing information. Many of my patients tell me that this elevation trick alone reduced their morning phlegm by 50% within just 3 nights, because suddenly gravity is working for them instead of against them, and they're waking up with a clearer throat and less coughing and better. Sleep quality and their partners are sleeping better too, because there's no more nighttime coughing and throat clearing keeping everyone awake, and this is such a simple change, but it has profound effects on your quality of life. Now let's talk about the third and most powerful solution, and this one addresses something that I see in almost every senior patient I treat, and it's a deficiency that's epidemic among older adults across America, but it's rarely tested or discussed by conventional doctors, and when we correct this deficiency, the results are absolutely remarkable, not just for phlegm, but for overall health and energy and immune function. The third solution is optimizing your zinc levels, because zinc plays a crucial role in maintaining the integrity of the mucous membranes throughout your body, including in your throat and respiratory system, and it also directly affects the function of that lower esophageal sphincter valve that we talked about earlier. Research shows that over 40% of Americans over 65 are deficient in zinc, and the reason this happens is because as we age, our ability to absorb zinc from food decreases. Many seniors are on medications that deplete zinc, including common drugs like proton pump inhibitors, which ironically are often prescribed for acid reflux, but actually make the problem worse in the long run. And many older adults don't eat enough zinc-rich foods because of dental problems, reduced appetite, or dietary restrictions. When you're deficient in zinc, several things happen that directly contribute to chronic phlegm production, because zinc deficiency weakens that valve between your stomach and esophagus, making reflux worse. It impairs your immune system, which makes you more susceptible to infections that cause mucus production. It disrupts the normal function of mucous membranes, causing them to overproduce mucus. And it slows healing of any inflammation or damage in your throat and digestive tract. From a medical perspective, zinc is essential for over 300 enzymatic reactions in your body, and it's particularly important for protein synthesis and cell repair, and when you optimize your zinc levels, your body can finally repair that. Weaken valve, reduce inflammation, normalize mucus production, and strengthen your immune defenses against respiratory infections, and the transformation I see in patients when we address this deficiency is honestly remarkable, because they don't just see improvement in their phlegm problem, but their energy increases, their thinking becomes clearer, their immune system strengthens, and they just feel better overall. Here's your protocol for zinc supplementation, and this is safe and effective for most seniors, but as always, if you're on multiple medications or have specific health conditions, check with your doctor first. You want to take a zinc supplement in the form of zinc picolinate or zinc glycinate, because these forms are most easily absorbed by the body, especially for seniors whose digestive systems don't absorb nutrients as efficiently as they used to, and the dosage I recommend is 30 milligrams per day, taken with food, preferably with your largest meal, because zinc on an empty stomach can cause nausea in some people. You can find quality zinc supplements at any pharmacy like Walgreens or CVS, or at health food stores, and they're very affordable, usually less than $10 for a 2-month supply, and make sure you're getting a supplement that contains just zinc or a Multivitamins specifically formulated for seniors that includes adequate zinc because many regular multivitamins don't contain enough to correct a deficiency. In addition to supplementation, you should also increase zinc-rich foods in your diet because food sources provide zinc along with other complementary nutrients that help with absorption and the best food sources of zinc that are easy for seniors to eat and digest. Include oysters, which are the richest source, but I know not everyone likes them or has access to them. Beef and lamb, which provide highly absorbable zinc. Chicken and turkey, especially the dark meat. Pumpkin seeds, which you can. Sprinkle on oatmeal or salads, cashews and almonds, which make great snacks, chickpeas and lentils, which are easy to add to soups, and dairy products like cheese and yogurt, which many seniors already eat regularly. One of my patients, a 76-year-old retired teacher named Robert, came to me absolutely miserable because he'd been dealing with chronic phlegm and postnasal drip for over 10 years, and he'd seen multiple doctors and tried every prescription medication. And nothing helped, and he was becoming socially isolated because he was so self-conscious about constantly clearing his throat, and he'd stopped going to his weekly poker games with friends because of embarrassment and when I tested his zinc levels, they were severely deficient, and we started him on the apple cider vinegar protocol, elevated his bed, and added zinc supplementation, and within 3 weeks, he noticed a significant improvement, and by 8 weeks, his chronic phlegm was 90% gone, and he told me with tears in his eyes that he felt like he'd gotten his life back, and he was back at poker night and feeling confident in social situations again, and that's the power of addressing root causes instead of just masking symptoms. Now I want you to understand how these 3 solutions work together synergistically because when you combine them, the results are far more powerful than using any single approach alone. The apple cider vinegar optimizes your stomach acid and digestion, which reduces the pressure and gas that forces acid up into your throat. The bed elevation uses gravity to keep whatever acid you do have in your stomach where it belongs, especially during those critical nighttime hours. And the zinc strengthens and heals the valve between your stomach and esophagus, while also normalizing mucus production throughout your respiratory system, and the combination of these 3 creates a comprehensive approach that addresses the problem from multiple angles simultaneously. Write in the comments, have you been dealing with chronic phlegm, and if so, for how long? Because I'd love to hear your experience, and your story might help other viewers realize they're not alone in this struggle. What I want you to understand is that you don't have to live with this anymore because chronic phlegm is not a normal part of aging, and it's not something you just have to accept, and I've seen hundreds of patients over my 20 years of practice who suffered unnecessarily for years because no one ever explained to them what was really causing their symptoms, and once we addressed the root causes, their quality of life improved dramatically, not just the phlegm issue, but their sleep, their confidence, their social engagement, and their overall sense of well-being. The longer you wait to address this, the worse it gets because continued acid exposure can cause permanent changes to the tissues in your throat and esophagus, and the chronic inflammation can affect your lungs and breathing, and the social isolation that comes from embarrassment about your symptoms can lead to depression and cognitive decline, which are already major concerns for seniors across America, and every day counts when it comes to protecting your health and your quality of life. If you want access to exclusive content, including more detailed protocols, recipes for gut health, and personalized advice for senior health issues, become a channel member because there I share even deeper information and detailed meal plans and supplement protocols that can help you optimize your health at every level, and you'll also get access to a community of seniors who are all working toward better health together and supporting each other on this journey. Let me give you a clear action plan to start implementing today because I don't want you to feel overwhelmed and I want you to succeed with this, so here's what you do starting right now. First thing tomorrow morning, go to your local grocery store or pharmacy and pick up a bottle of raw unfiltered apple cider vinegar with the mother and a quality zinc supplement in the picolinate or glycinate form, and these 2 items together will cost you less than $20 and will last you at least a month. Second, before you go to bed tonight, elevate the head of your bed using either bed risers or extra support under your mattress. Or if you want, order a wedge pillow online and start using it as soon as it arrives, because every night you sleep elevated is a night of healing instead of damage. Third, start the apple cider vinegar protocol tomorrow morning by mixing 2 tablespoons in 8 ounces of warm water and drinking it 15 to 20 minutes before lunch and dinner. And do this consistently every single day, because consistency is what creates results, and within 1 week you should start noticing less morning phlegm and easier breathing. Fourth, take your zinc supplement 30 milligrams daily with food and continue this for at least 8 weeks, because it takes time to replenish depleted stores and rebuild tissue health. But the wait is worth it, because you'll feel the difference not just in your throat but in your overall energy and immune function. And fifth, pay attention to your body and keep a simple journal noting your symptoms each morning, because when you track your progress, you'll see the improvements clearly, and this will motivate you to stay consistent. And it also gives you concrete information to share with your doctor at your next appointment, and most doctors will be impressed and supportive when they see how well you're doing with these natural approaches. If this video opened your eyes to what's really causing your chronic phlegm and gave you hope that you can finally get relief, hit that like button, because that helps YouTube show this video to more seniors who desperately need this information. I need you to understand something important, which is that your health is in your hands, and you have more power than you think to transform your quality of life through simple natural approaches that work with your body instead of against it, and you deserve to wake up every morning feeling clear and comfortable and confident, and you deserve to enjoy conversations with your grandchildren without constantly clearing your throat, and you deserve to sleep peacefully through the night without coughing, and you deserve to participate fully in your church community and social activities without embarrassment or self-consciousness. The truth is, modern medicine is wonderful for acute emergencies and serious diseases, but when it comes to chronic conditions like this that steal your quality of life day after day, the real solutions often come from understanding your body's needs and giving it the support it requires to heal itself. And that's exactly what these 3 protocols do, because they don't just suppress symptoms, they address root causes and allow your body to function the way it was designed to function. Share this video with someone you care about, especially if you know a senior who's been suffering with chronic phlegm or constant throat clearing, because this information could literally change their life and help them reclaim the comfort and dignity they deserve. And the more we spread this knowledge, the more seniors we can help break free from unnecessary suffering. Subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications by clicking that bell icon so you don't miss future videos where I share more natural solutions for the health challenges that affect seniors across America, because I'm dedicated to giving you information that's practical, science-based, and actually works in the real world, not just in theory.